Welcome back to Season 2 of Ready, Set, Bake. My name is Raeya, I'm your host, and last season we covered a wide variety of desserts, including layer cakes, cupcakes, and even cake jars. For this season, we're going to accelerate our skills in the kitchen by learning from some of the best in the pastry arts industry. I'm here at Just Cakes Bakeshop in Surrey, British Columbia, and we're gonna meet Raveena Oberoi-Grewal, the owner. Just Cakes Bakeshop is known for their irresistible desserts that are both delicious and beautiful. Hi, Raveena. Thanks so much for having me over.
Thank you for coming. So happy to have you here.
So do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Raveena Oberoi-Grewal, and I'm the owner and CEO of Just Cakes Bakeshop. We're a gourmet bespoke bakery in Surrey. We have 2 locations. One's in the heart of Surrey in the Surrey Delta border, and then one's in the Cloverdale Langley border.
So we're at the Surrey location today. So what is your experience with baking?
Oh man, so baking has been a huge part of my life since I was very young, about when I was, 14, 15, 16. And when I was around 16 is kind of when I really just realized that I love baking so much. It's kind of like my escape and like my therapy growing up. And it just kind of blossomed into something just so much more than that, like just a really core part of my identity. So it's always had a special place in my heart, and it still does. It's still what I gravitate towards when I'm having a bad day or when I just need to kind of focus is, brings me to the kitchen and baking.
I know, I feel a similar way about baking too. It's definitely very calming, very relaxing.
Making something from nothing, right? It's so therapeutic, so. Yeah.
And I like how it's very exact. Yeah. Like you know exactly what's going to happen.
This is how we know we're typing personalities, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you always knew you wanted to run a bakery then?
Honestly, no. So it was very much a hobby before, very much something that I like to do to de-stress. And then I never even thought that this could be something that I would, be doing for a living. And that has a lot of cultural notions to it too. You never really saw someone, from that looks like me or from our cultural background that did something on the more creative end of things and been celebrated for their success in it. So it was always just something that I never even thought about and never even thought could be an opportunity. But with the support and help of my friends and family, my parents are awesome supporters, and just that championing those dreams first and foremost, that really helped just kind of gain that traction. So yeah,
definitely an inspiration to me and other young bakers. So it's very great that you're running such a successful, not even one bakery, but 2 bakeries. That's incredible.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And, sometimes I still kind of have to pinch myself of how far we've come, and there's just so much more to go. And it's just kind of that overall theme or notion of just believe in yourself and your dreams and give it all you got, because who else is going to do it for you, right? So, yeah, that's a really big part of, what this is.
So what's your signature dessert here that you offer?
So our signature dessert is our cardamom dream. It's something that I came up with in the first year of opening this up. I was actually a part of a challenge, of a food challenge, and it was, make a cake that is reminiscent of your culture or your background. And I love cardamom. Cardamom is one of my favorite flavors to play with, and it's very Indian. It's in a lot of Indian desserts. So I was like, hey, let's run with cardamom. And I wanted to kind of, one of my favorite Indian dishes is ras malai. So it's kind of like a ricotta cheese patties in you call it rabdi, it's like a liquid, and it has notes of cloves and pistachios and cardamom. It's milky, it's creamy, it's so rich. And I wanted to kind of convert that into a more modernized take of it. So that was our cardamom dream. So it's a white chocolate cardamom infused mousse with a milk chocolate cinnamon ganache center. That was kind of my twist on it, with the tea base and a pistachio.
Yeah, wow, that sounds delicious.
Yeah,
and it's so great that you're bringing your culture into your bakery, so showing a little bit of your identity and who you are.
Totally.
Reflecting. And what you offer.
Yeah, I think it's really important with food, whether it's, you know, pastry or more savory, there's just such an opportunity for emotion and nostalgia and memory making and evoking. And the more you can do that, the more like people are going to be, you know, enjoying themselves eating what you're making, but also it just tells a story. So I think that's really important.
Definitely, yeah. Food definitely tells a story.
Totally.
And I know when I bake, I always say baked with love.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, it's like a common saying, but really it's true.
Totally, because the energy that you're bringing to that is, you know, I feel like people can sense it when you're eating it, right? So why wouldn't that be full of happiness and memory and emotion? So, yeah.
So you were a Food Network contestant and you won the Big Bake.
Yes, I did.
So what is it like? What was it like first competing and then kind of transitioning into being a judge?
So competing was really surreal for me because I grew up watching these shows and like things like Cupcake Wars and other, you know, shows on the Food Network, and just always like wondering what it would be like. And just like, you know, I wish I could do that one day. And when we got the opportunity to, it was like a surreal moment. I never thought we would have that opportunity. So we went through the whole like application process, and even just, so I'm a huge believer of like law of attraction and the universe kind of, you know? So it's funny because January, the year that we got on the show in January, I made a little vision board, and on there I put the Food Network Canada logo. And I was like, let's just see what happens. And this is like a time where I was like really down on myself and I was trying to pick myself up. So in April, we got contacted by a producer saying, hey, we think you would be a great fit for the show, please apply. So we got that email, so I applied, I did all the things, and we waited a couple of weeks, and I thought we didn't get it. And then all of a sudden they said, oh, you've been shortlisted for an interview. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy.
That's amazing.
Then we did the interview, and again, a couple more weeks go by, and I was like, for sure we didn't get it, we probably would have heard back by now. Then that, like, literally, I had that thought, and then the next day we had an email saying, you got it, like, let's have a Zoom call and figure out what you need to do. And we were supposed to film 2 weeks from then. So we had like zero prep time and everything like that, but it was just such a surreal moment. So my team and I, you know, then flew out there, we put everything we had out on that cake, and we ended up winning. And that was such a crazy moment, and I never thought we would win. And I think we went in with the mentality like we're just gonna do the best we can, and that ended up, you know, working in our favor. So it was super, super surreal.
That's amazing, yeah. So what was it like being a judge then?
Oh man, that was even just a whole, like, I was like, what is happening? How is this my life right now? Because again, you know, watching these shows growing up and being so inspired by the judges, the contestants and everything, and just having the ability to do that is just otherworldly. Like, it's, you know, representation matters a lot. And I think it was very important to me on that front. I, you know, being a young South Asian brown woman, to be able to be on a national platform like that, I took it really seriously. And just like, wow, like, who knows? If I had someone that looked like me growing up, I would have even felt more confident and like more inspired and more ready to go for my dreams, right? And now, who knows? It could be me, it could be someone else. You know, just serving that representation and helping other people see that it's very much possible for them.
Yeah, I agree. Representation is so important.
It's huge. It's huge.
Like I said, like, you're a huge inspiration to me.
Thank you.
So, competing, I feel like you would have a little more sympathy, I guess, for the contestants.
Oh,
How stressful it must be to compete in there.
It's insane. Like, it's such a, when you're in there, when you're competing, it's such a, like, your cards just need to line up. And sometimes they don't line up, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, you need everything to go perfectly.
Exactly, right? So the pressure is insane. Like, I don't know if I could compete again. Like, it was insane. But yeah, it's really, really rewarding, that's for sure. And yes, you do have a lot of empathy, like for contestants, and when something doesn't go right and they try to make it work, and you need to take that into consideration too, so.
Let's talk more about Just Cakes Bakeshop.
Sure.
Yeah, so obviously you run a bakery, so you love to bake, but how do you feel about the more business side of things?
I think, to be honest, I think I my parents are business owners too, so I grew up around that like language, and I'm really, really grateful for it because I think it's kind of set me up to be able to run a bakery and a business. I'm not the best, I'm not the most perfect at it, but I think it just kind of like predisposed me to being able to be adaptable. And I think that's the number one thing that business owners, entrepreneurs must be, is adaptable. And always kind of just being able to be flexible. I think that's really important. So it's been challenging, and it's by no means perfect, but you know, we have made strides and learned every single step of the way, and I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
I was also wondering what a typical day in your bakery looks like, and what are your highlights of the day? Is there things or tasks that you may not like as much?
Yeah, there's always some stuff that we don't like to do. So the team starts at around 6 a.m. at each location, and they do everything from scratch, everything fresh in the morning. I get in around 9-ish, and then I get started on cakes and like kind of organizing the day and like kind of managing any errands that need to be done. My favorite part of the day is actually when I get the kitchen to myself and I'm able to create and I'm able to work on cakes and like really get creative with it. That's my most favorite part of the day.
So obviously you've had a very successful career with running 2 incredible, beautiful bakeries.
Thank you.
Being a Food Network, not only contestant and winning, but also being a judge.
Thank you.
What do you think is your biggest achievement?
I think asides all of that, I think the biggest achievement is to be able to like form a team at the bakery that just like really loves what they do and just cultivate that company culture. I think that's really huge. One big mission that I have within this industry, that this industry has a really bad rep for, is ethical employment and being able to offer fair wages and offer full benefits and offer all those things, right? A lot of people deter away from, you know, continuing on in this industry because of those things. So I want to make sure that within my company, we do whatever we can to help propel that forward. And I think we've done a really good job at that. So I think that's one thing I'm really, 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 really proud of. And to be able to move that forward is huge.
That's definitely a huge accomplishment.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what are your plans for Just Cakes going forward?
Oh man, I want to be nationwide. So one thing that we're known for locally is our cake in a jar. And so what I really want to do with that, actually in COVID, we started our jar bar vending machine. So it's cake in a jar in a vending machine. So we have 2 vending machines right now. So I would love to just do more of those all across Canada. That would be a huge dream of mine. I also want to teach, and I want to, you know, help other bakeries be successful and kind of be a little consultant maybe. I don't know, there's so many things, and I'd love to do the TV thing again, so yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, for talking.
Thank you, thank you.
And I guess we're gonna see how you make some of your desserts.
Yep, of course, let's do it. Awesome. Well, welcome to the Just Cakes kitchen at our Scott Road location. So today we're going to do a little bit of a demo of how we finish off our to-go cakes as well as our pecan tarts. So our to-go cakes, they are so fun to decorate because they're always something a little bit different. These ones that I'm doing, these 6 here, are our chocolate brownie to-go cakes. So decadent. There are layers of chocolate cake with chocolate ganache and chocolate buttercream, and then we're gonna dress it up with some brownies and chocolate pieces, crisp pearls, and yeah. So we like to kind of keep things very streamlined and look the same according to the flavor. So we're gonna be kind of going through that process of how to decorate as well. So we'll do a couple. So I always start off with like the bigger chunks. So brownies, I usually do about 2 or 3 per cake. Let's go with 3 today. Just gonna stick that onto the piping that we've already done here. And everything that we do in our bakery is from scratch. So the brownies are made from scratch, the cake is made from scratch, buttercream, ganache, everything. So we can control quality. And next we're gonna go in with some chocolate pieces, and we've made these as well. Just melting down chocolate, putting them into a mold, kind of creates like a little fun like decor element too. So we're just gonna put a couple in each as well. And this is where like kind of the therapeutic part of decorating comes in. It's just kind of go with the flow a little bit, and well, at least I do, and just kind of let it move you, if that makes sense. All right, okay, so now we're just gonna finish it off with these crisp pearls. So they're like crunchy chocolate pearls that are really yummy, really yummy, and adds to the texture. So we're just gonna put a few there. And we do a variety of to-go cakes every single day at each location, from, you know, a Biscoff to a vanilla strawberry to our cardamom dream to tuxedo, our most popular red velvet. So the sky's the limit with these cakes. Next, we're gonna decorate and finish off our pecan tart. So fun story about this tart recipe is actually my aunt's recipe, and it's just kind of been tradition during kind of the festive season. She makes a whole bunch of these and gives them out to different families and everything. And I asked her if I could take the recipe and make it at the bakery, and she said, yeah, why not? So it's amazing. It's one of my favorite things on the menu right now. And it's very simple. It's just kind of like a butter pecan tart filling with, you know, roasted pecans, and it's very simple but very, very good. And then we finish it off with a vanilla bean whipped cream quenelle. And that's what I'm just gonna be putting on here. So very simple. We've already kind of pre-made these, and they will soften up in a couple of minutes, and it'll be nice and light whipped cream. Then, of course, so there's a running joke at the bakery that I love gold. So I put gold on everything. So that's what we're just gonna do. We're just gonna tap a little bit of gold on. All right, so we're gonna finish it off with a little JCB icon here. And there we go. So cute.
So we're gonna be trying the cardamom dream dessert today.
Yeah, I'm excited to bring it up for you. Just give me 1 second. So as I mentioned, we'll cut it open and everything. There's a white chocolate cardamom infused mousse inside with a milk chocolate cinnamon ganache center, a cardamom tea sponge base, and roasted and salted pistachios, as you see on the side.
Wow, that looks delicious.
Yeah, you can cut it. You can do the honors here. There you go.
Oh, the chocolate.
Yeah. It's hard to. Yeah, so here we can kind of see all the layers and the components.
Oh, wow, that looks delicious. Okay, let's give it a try.
Go ahead.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so creamy, it's so rich. You can definitely taste that hint of pistachio and cardamom.
Hey, I'm
really
glad.
good.
Well, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me over, Raveena, and answering all of my burning questions.
Well, thank you for coming. I had a great time with you, and I hope you loved, you know, visiting. And yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have such a successful career, and as we talked about, you're such a great inspiration.
Thank you so much.
And providing that representation.
Well, thank you so much, Raeya. It was such a pleasure, and all the best for all your endeavors as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on Ready, Set, Bake.